What are you trying to do with that asset? Are you trying to do a rehab, or is it already functional? Are you trying to refinance some of your current assets? What type of investment do they want to do? Where they're trying to do like a fix and flip. And so typically I'll ask the investor, what's the property address? What's the asset type? Is it single family, multifamily? And then what are the numbers, right? What is your purchase price? What's the rehab amount that you need? And what's the after repair value? Knowing your numbers as an investor is important because those numbers will let me create your scenario for that particular property. The vision of my property is conditioned to be the same or better than the comps that you sent. You can't not have the right rehab amount and then have your purchase in the after repair value, right?
What kind of products does BRRRR Cash offer for an investor clients?
So we have a multitude from multifamily, single family, and I would say we also have mixed use asset types, so multiple asset types, like the shopping centers, offices, and then it comes down to, what are you trying to do with that asset? Are you trying to do a rehab, or is it already functional? Or are you trying to refinance some of your current assets? Mm-hmm. So, there's a long list of titles to invest in, from purchase to refinance, multiple asset types. We cover majority of states across the U.S. We have different lending partners because we're a commercial mortgage broker. So because that, we have flexibility as far as options that are available to us.
Gotcha. And then the other part of that is, like, if a person, wants to get investor financing, how do they get ready? What are the requirements for the person who's looking to do investor financing? What do you need from them?
Mm-hmm. So typically, the investor knows what type of investment they want to do, right? They want to have an initial conversation. I'm going to ask them what's their plan and strategy, what type of investment do they want to do. And so we're going to use this scenario where they're trying to do like a fix and flip. It's a very popular strategy that some investors use. And so typically I'll ask the investor, what's the property address? What's the asset type? Is it single family, multifamily? And then what are the numbers, right? What is your purchase price? What's the rehab amount that you need? And what's the after repair value? So, knowing your numbers as an investor is important because those numbers will let me create your scenario for that particular property.
Wait. Guys, know your numbers. We talk about that all the time. You got to know your numbers. Yeah.
And if you don't know your numbers, so let's just go back to say, purchase price, rehab, after repair value, right? If you don't know the after repair value, you're going to work with your real estate professional like Clara and say, can you please provide the comps for that location, right? And when you have those comps that she sends you, you're going to say, okay, the vision of my property is a condition to be the same or better than the comps that she sent me. And that gives you a great, estimate of your after repair value. For your rehab cost, I would say, have your resources ready, like your contractors, get a few quotes, at least 3 if you can, to get a good gauge of what the rehab cost will be for that particular property. And then from there, you have your purchase price, right? So with your purchase price and your rehab, and you have the after repair value, you determine how much you want your spread to be when you add up your purchase and rehab and then compare it to your after repair value.
Yeah. And that's basically the profit. So the after repair value is probably one of the important numbers that you need to know. And you can get that from a real estate professional, or you can have an appraisal done on the property if you want to spend the money for it. But it is important. I find a lot of times, sometimes investors spend too much initially on their purchase price of the property, so it doesn't give them a lot of room for repairs, and or it cuts into their profit, or they end up breaking even because they didn't look at how much it was really going to cost to do that property. And now with all these tariffs going on, the cost of construction is going up a little bit, but it's important for people. I like your idea of getting a couple of estimates on getting people to bid the job in advance. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because if you don't, you're taking a guess, right? And those 3 numbers, I'll tell you everyone, right? Those 3 numbers, one is not more important than the other.
They're all important.
those three numbers, when you were running the numbers, going back to running the numbers, right?
Yeah.
You have, you can't not have the right rehab amount and then have your purchase and the after period value, right? They're all equally important.